Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Campus Waterfowl Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Christians, and this weekend for the Collegiate Waterfowl Tour, I'm sitting here with students of St. Lawrence University. You probably never heard of St. Lawrence University, but you'll know this college by the end of this episode. It'll be on your radar for sure. So St. Lawrence is in upstate New York, in Canton, New York. Very, very small community. They have a student body of 2,500 students. So the reason I'm here at St. Lawrence University this year on the tour is because a couple years ago, St. Lawrence University was crowned the national champions of our fun, not so fun anymore, it's pretty serious, of our National Collegiate Waterfowl Championship that we hold every year now. And they came out of nowhere. Like, I had no idea what this school was about, what they were doing. And they completely dominated the competition, even crushed Hampton-Sydney there.
Yeah, we did.
Flyway. So
if you're watching,
they made the Final Four. They got a custom duck call made.
People don't forget.
Being here, being able to sit here with these guys and now hunt with them, I'm truly excited to be here because what I've learned over the years since the tournament is that it's not easy really being a duck hunter here at St. Lawrence University. And I think in this episode, you'll learn a lot about kind of what these students are doing on their campus, and then also what they're doing at being a part of their DU chapter as well. So I think you guys are in for a really, really good episode here. But thank you to the companies that support Campus Waterfowl: Kent Cartridge, Tetra, Hearing, Onyx, Ducks Unlimited, Drake Waterfowl. Really appreciate all your support this season and being able to travel and meet students like these guys and tell their stories and kind of what they're doing on their campus. But let's get started.
I'm Nate Serlin. I'm the president of the St. Lawrence University Ducks Unlimited chapter. I'm a sophomore and I'm studying history and government.
My name is LaClair. I'm a member of Ducks Unlimited and I am studying government and economics.
My name is Axel. I graduated this past spring, class of 2021 from St. Lawrence. I was the founder of St. Lawrence University SLU Ducks Unlimited, and right now I'm a licensed U.S. Coast Guard captain and working my way up to becoming either a guide or something along the fishing and hunting industry. But not really sure yet. Might change gears to something completely different, but we'll see kind of where that takes us. So, yeah.
Exciting. Let's start out. I always like to do, since we already got a couple days of hunting in already, you guys want to explain kind of what's been happening throughout the weekend?
Sure. So we are currently on break. We have 10 days off, and we're going to hunt pretty much the entire break. And we have been hunting out of Henderson Harbor on Lake Ontario, which is one of the Great Lakes. And we've been shooting diver ducks, longtails, old squaw, whatever you want to call them. And we've been doing pretty well. The day before today, which would be yesterday, I believe they call that, we shot our limit over the course of 5 or 6 hours. And today we went out and had a little bit of trouble and kind of fought the elements and wind and tides and losing anchors. And
There's no ties.
Did you guys lose an anchor too today?
Yeah, we lost an anchor.
We lost.
My knot wasn't good.
Yeah,
we lost an anchor as
today
well.
Today was a little bit more trying, but we ended up having 2 boats, and we got almost the limit in both boats. But, yeah.
Shot a few ducks.
Yeah.
Did some cooking. That's about it. Yeah.
Is hunting for longtails kind of a normal thing for students of St. Lawrence University, or is this kind of like a unique thing where you need kind of the gear and that kind of stuff? Or
it's definitely not like the majority of our season. Like the longtails probably just got here, especially in the numbers that they're in. So when we hunt on the river up more towards Canton, they definitely appear sometimes, but I would say majority of our season is not spent chasing divers because it closes so early. It closes December 5th or 6th usually, and so the divers are just starting to get here in full numbers then. Okay. So generally more puddle ducks for us. But.
Gotcha. And then are you hunting those in just little marshes and stuff? Any field hunting up here?
For early season goose, there's a lot of field hunting. We try to do a lot of new hunters in the early season. It's warm. You don't need as much gear. We're set up. We have a bunch of full bodies and. We worked real hard with getting permission with landowners and I mean, everyone knows the deal. If you're a waterfowl hunter and you're in college, you're giving 6-packs to farmers and, you know, maybe trade some work or, you know, if it comes down to money, if you can afford it. But all of our stuff is just, you know, shaking hands and meeting people. And luckily up here we have a really supportive community, and we got a lot of kids out for the first time. We did a couple lessons, right? You guys did the
last summer.
The hunting,
the
safety, hunter safety. Hunter safety, and we start them out in the fall, early September, mid-September for early season goose, and then that's all field, and then we transition to water. What would you say when duck opener is?
There aren't really, we don't really get field mallards where we are in northern New York. Very, very rarely. So definitely, like, once it's duck season, it's mostly water and marshes.
One thing I think, or a couple things we're going to touch on a lot during this podcast is the DU chapter that was started at your guys' university, and then also now the involvement that you have in the support of the college and then also the community. But then also we'll touch on a little bit of the tournament that that Campus Waterfowl hosted a couple years ago, and kind of how you guys came out of nowhere, out of the Atlantic Flyway, and ended up winning the whole darn thing. So you guys beat all the massive schools and everything. And how big, student body wise, how big is your college?
24, 25,
2,500.
Enough to beat Hampton Sydney.
Yeah, enough to beat Hampton.
That's all that really matters to me. If you're out there, remember us.
We really take it seriously.
Yeah,
remember that.
We do. It's very serious.
Big deal for us.
Yeah, that is forever like ingrained in like the Hampton
I'll never
Sydney.
forget.
Oh, I love that.
St.
I love
Lawrence.
that.
Yeah.
I feel like now after that,
I feel like maybe we should meet up and, you know, have like a, you know, what is it?
Bare knuckle brawl.
In Acreman, they all beat the piss out of each other.
all over it.
I'm sure that
Waterfowl.
no, I could definitely take that kid.
Probably good.
Probably good. Probably
You're
definitely.
picking a fight we can't win.
No, there's no way. But we'll pick it anyway.
So I guess to start the timeline out. So when did the DU? So Axel, you mentioned and found out over the weekend, like you started the DU chapter there at St. Lawrence University. What made you start the DU chapter there, and then like where were you at in college at that time?
Sure. Basically, I was a transfer, so I was at University of Maine my freshman year, and I transferred to SLU that fall. Got in June, came up, toured, and then came on campus in the fall. And actually, I shouldn't say I was a sole founder. I actually had a co-founder with me in the very beginning. You know, it definitely changed hands. People got busy with stuff and sports teams, so it became, you know, I wasn't on a sports team while I was at school, so I was doing a lot of club stuff, and the other co-founder, Alex, he was just really busy, and I kind of taking a lot of weight off his shoulders for a lot of stuff. And I mean, he came through for the first year, but after that, it kind of was tough. But basically, we got to campus, and we had like basically orientation. And I had to go around and talk to a bunch of transfers, and Alex and I were in the same transfer group. And I was like, I noticed he had something on, if it was a hat or something. And I was like, oh, like, do you hunt or like, do you fish? And he's like, yeah, like I'm a big outdoorsman. And I was like, word, like, you know, I'm thinking of starting this DU club. Like, I didn't know anyone at the time. Like, it seemed like a good area. Like, there's no duck hunting in Maine. I mean, we do eiders on the coast, but there's nothing, you know, besides that. So, you know, I asked him, I was like, you interested in starting a club? And he was kind of my first like real, you know, member, like co-founder at the university. And from there, we just, you know, did a grind. You know, we did our first 3 semesters on campus as an organization, which the school requires before you can go to the government and present as an actual club and get a budget. So we did our first event that spring, and you know, we had a pretty good showing for our first one. A lot of community members came out. It was new to them. They've never had a DU college chapter in the area, which is cool. So we did that in the spring, and then after that, we got our budget. We basically presented in front of all Thelma, which is our student government at SLU. You know, petitioned for our, you know, budget, what we're going to use it for, kind of explain what DU does, how, you know, it's actually more of a conservational side of things. It's real hard to explain. As you know, and we all know, it's hard to kind of talk about duck hunting and conservation in the same time, because they're like, well, if you're just killing ducks to keep more killing ducks, like it doesn't make any sense. And we kind of had to break that down and show, you know, what money we raised, where it went to, and then they were like, wow, like pretty impressed. And luckily, a lot of supportive people on the political side of things at SLU for us, and we got our club and it was up and running. And our senior year was my senior year was, we had COVID, so it was tough to do events. But what did you guys click for numbers this year? We have up over 100 members now.
Yeah, we're in that range, and it went from like having 20 members remaining after your class graduated, and we got it up to 100, which is so awesome.
Yeah. And because of that event, actually, during COVID, everyone was on their phone, and we saw your, what do you want to call it, competition?
The tournament.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, we'll toss our name, like whatever, we'll throw a comment in there. And
because we put it together like a month before it actually started. We're just like, let's just throw it together quick. And then I didn't know how well it was going to do. And so for colleges to be on that like tournament, I just had students comment. Like the first 16 colleges I got in each flyaway that were just commented below, I just threw them in. And St. Lawrence was one of them, and they got added to the bracket.
Yeah, it was cool. And because of that event, we actually, since COVID was happening, a lot of people were at home or doing classes at home, but at St. Lawrence University and the campus as a whole and the student body was very like alumni heavy. Like if you'll get stopped, like Hunter was telling someone the other day, like we'll get stopped in New York City or we'll get stopped in somewhere out west, and if someone went to SLU, they'll just stop you and go, oh, like how are you doing? Like do you need any help? Like what was your mate? They'll go through. They'll have a whole
very close knit community, and I think through winning the tournament, did that play a role in you kind of finding out that there was somewhere where you might like to go?
So actually, that's really interesting because I followed Campus Waterfowl. So when the tournament happened, I was still a senior in high school, and I had been following Campus Waterfowl, just like thinking about colleges, thinking about duck hunting. And you guys actually won the tournament. I'm only about 2 hours from school, and I had SLU had already been on my radar, and I remember commenting for you guys to win the tournament, like, oh, this would be wicked cool. Like, and then you guys won the tournament. I was like, oh, I wonder if this is a big duck hunting school. So definitely the tournament actually ended up influencing.
And then you came here, and then you're like, should have gone.
I can be president.
I'm so sorry. I input that.
No, it was cool. Well, the thing was we related back to like having a strong student body and a strong relationship with alumni, and
you obviously trick a bunch of people to come to SLU.
Yeah,
including me.
We should actually get fun. We should get a cut of that from school, but no, we brought all these votes. People were voting left and right, and they're like, I don't know what this is. Like, no clue. The duck kids are doing something. Like, let's vote. And we were stoked because we, some of these comments towards the end of as it got traction, like as we were like starting to work through the brackets, we're like, we had kids from all different, backgrounds and spectrums of the student body voting. Yeah. And that was awesome for us to see because, we didn't know how much outreach we had. And because of our Instagram page and everything, it was awesome to get more traction. And, They love the trash talk, and it was just like so much fun. We had like siblings joining in, and like
we bought a ton of followers. And
you buy?
You can't tell them. No, it was good, and it was a great competition, and like it was all friendly. It's all good stuff, but. No, it was awesome to have that support, and we ended up winning. We didn't think we would win, and like we got to like the couple last brackets. We're like, all right, we need to really start. Like, we can do it. Like we can do it.
Yeah. Once you got past Hampton Sydney, I knew it was.
Well, we knew it was a lock.
Well, the thing was like now we'll probably never win it again. So we're like
we lost in the first round last year.
Yeah, we're done.
Not even close.
We're just objectively like not even close. Yeah, to the best. That kind of
absolutely not. But
I don't think like the tournament isn't to show like the best duck hunting, like who has the best duck hunting or anything like that. And I think for the first year, I think like to vote, it was, you had to comment your school, and then that counted as a vote, and then every like of that comment counted as a vote. So there was some comments from St. Lawrence that had like 200-300 likes, and it was insane. But I think going back to my point of it's not about the best duck hunting college, there's so many factors that contribute to just having I'm kind of glad that a community-based kind of college and a community that came out of nowhere and supported you guys, that itself shows that I think it's more important having a community that supports you for duck hunting rather than having some outstanding waterfowl hunting, because you have your community that supports you, and if they don't support you, then it's pretty hard to duck hunt in the area when everyone looks down at you.
That's true. Well, the other thing is like they're also supporting what DU does as a whole, not just the hunting aspect. I mean,
and that's another thing where it's like what you guys are doing at your college is it's a lot harder than, especially because DU is looked at as a duck hunting organization, and you guys have had to constantly kind of just share what the mission is of DU to your peers and your community. And I'd love to hear kind of how you guys kind of had that conversation with them and what you guys talked about with them.
I'm sorry, the community?
Yeah, with when you guys kind of approached your even like student body, the government
Sure,
and things,
yeah.
and kind of told them like this is more than just duck hunting.
Yeah, it was definitely something that we were pretty anxious about going into it, just due to the fact that we go to school in a pretty liberal institution, and obviously anything that includes firearms usually trends away from not even what people are against, but just what people are comfortable from. We have a lot of people from like urban areas, a lot of people from New England.
Yep.
A lot of people who have just never been around firearms before, and just the discussion of them is pretty alarming, which is totally fine and permissible and reasonable. But just being able to kind of approach it from the conservation side of it, which Axel was really good at, and then I grew up in the area, and my family is from St. Lawrence County, which is where St. Lawrence University is. So just kind of like the subsistence part of it, kind of merging with the conservation part of it, and just the idea that what we're doing is very in line with all the other outdoor practices. That most of the people that are in Ducks Unlimited are avid skiers, avid fly fishermen, fisher people.
Technical term.
Yeah.
Hikers, campers.
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah,
They like the outdoors.
Yeah.
So it's in alignment with a lot of the values that the school has, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what people needed to hear, and that it's not just this like stereotypical redneck hunter activity, which it can be, and it's just as fun. But it was just kind of like people push it away immediately because it's so different. But I think once they listened, and they gave us a floor for discourse, and they were very respectful of it, and in the end we were able to give them the pitch that made sense to them. Yeah.
And then also, were they interested in then too joining the DU chapter after that?
Yeah,
Then
actually,
that's kind of where
one of the people who sat in on our Thelmo pitch, I believe that she was a senator at the time. Her name's Bryn Afton, and she's currently a co-president.
Really?
So she was at the Thelmo meeting that we were at, and I remember this because she had to step outside during the vote because she was a member at the time. But she was that. Her father works for Ducks Unlimited and had some connections there. But she doesn't even hunt, but she was very interested in the club, and that kind of pitch, I think, was kind of the beginning of that movement towards her taking a leadership position in the club.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How do you think it's so, Axel? You graduated now. It was kind of like your baby starting out, like kind of like with myself with Campus Waterfowl, like being part of it for so long, and now you're kind of leaving it in the hands of Nate.
Big mistake.
How does that make you feel? And then also Nate, to piggyback off of that, like what are you looking forward to do with the DU chapter there at St. Lawrence?
Yeah, well, it's cool because Nate and I got connected through you, and
how was that?
You did basically there's like a Google form.
Yeah,
like it's really easy. Like, hey, is there any like kind of your name, contact or anything, and we'll put you in touch with anyone that's interested. Yeah, I don't know if you remember doing that. I know you're so busy, but you actually put together that.
Yeah, I remember putting together the form.
I forgot that's how we met.
Yeah,
it's because of you.
I always forget.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, sure. I shot you my name and email, and Nate was the only kid who reached out, and he was like super interested and like down for it. And I was like, cool. Word, like I have to. That's how Nate is the one of the co-presidents today, which is cool. So I started that, and we built that up, and a ton of support with different people on campus and exec board members and such, but. No, it was cool to see it grow. It was cool to see more people from non-hunting backgrounds support it because of the actual mission that we're trying to accomplish, which is to conserve wetlands and raise money for restoration projects and different things like that. And so when Nate came along, was I a junior?
No, you were a senior.
I was a senior.
Yeah, I was a freshman.
Damn. Was a senior. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, he's a freshman, so got in contact, and we had some players in the mix that were like definitely wanted to take over, and it gets busy. People get, stuff going on. So Nate was a freshman, and most kids know, like, freshman year and senior year are kind of like your two, have fun years for the most part. And so Nate was, super into it and ready to go, and we hunted a ton, and we talked a lot of stuff together about, everything with DU and what I was doing, and you seemed like a good fit for like you were into it. So I was like, this is a perfect handoff. You and an older member could help run next year, and I don't know how you guys do it. We didn't even vote. Like we did vote. Did we not vote?
No, why?
No one else stepped up really. So
No, we didn't really have an argument about it. And I just scheduled the first meeting, and we got in the meeting. I said, "Look, guys, this is our officers, and this is what we're doing." And no one complained.
yeah.
So
But yeah, talk about kind of like what you did this year, because I know that the media page I started and grew. You took even higher this year with everything. You've been posting a lot more than we did, because I was trying to juggle so many things. But
So before I came to SLU, I actually was not much of a duck hunter. I grew up deer hunting, and I actually the only reason I even brought duck hunting stuff up was because I followed you, we got in contact, and I talked to you before coming. You're like, no, duck hunting's a big thing up here, like definitely making sure you bring your duck stuff. And we got up, and Axel was the only person that like really offered to take me hunting. And like I remember we went opening day of goose, and I pretty much Axel was the only person I hunted with for like the first 2 months of being at school. He was the only person inviting me out, and I kind of like tried to learn about waterfowl from him and take it and apply it myself. We go out and shoot my own ducks sometimes, and I loved it. And it's just a ton of fun up there, and it's like way more social activity than I was used to. And Axel and I had a lot of fun. He introduced me to a lot of people too, and I had been big into conservation before that, and so like it just seemed like a perfect match. Like, oh, there's this new new type of hunting that I haven't done that I love, and I love conservation. It's really important to me. So he kind of like we had conversations about it. He's like, look, like you're young, you're passionate, and so if you're interested in doing this, I'm sure that there are other members would be, willing to let you be president. I was like, I think I want to do it. So Axel graduated, and so what was really weird this year was we had this he graduated in the spring, and because of COVID, our school did a summer semester, which will probably never happen again. And so there was this lame duck period where I wasn't at school, neither was Axel, and my co-president, Bryn, and another kid, Harlow, kind of did some stuff over the summer. The main thing they did was a shooting safety class. They went and shot a few clays, and everybody.
It rained.
Were you there for it?
No, I didn't go because it was raining.
Well, whatever. Yeah, but I mean that actually ended up being a really big success, and they were really excited with how people came out. We got back to school.
A lot of people went.
And we got back, and one of the first things I realized was that the school they've given, I think that this is true for you too, but definitely there's people on campus that would like to see Ducks Unlimited not be a thing. And we got back to school, and essentially some of that sentiment was kind of made clear to me. And so it also became clear to me that if we were going to survive as a club and complete our mission, that we had to reach out to people other than hunters. And so immediately when I got back on campus, that was the first thing I was thinking about was what can we do to show that people who want clean air, clean water, wildlife, conservation, not just hunting, sustainable food, how can we reach out to them and try to include them more at our club? Because at the end of the day, there's maybe 15 hunters at the entire school. And so the reality is most of our members are comprised of people that are interested in the food aspect and the conservation aspect and the sustainability aspect. And so that's definitely been a point that I've been trying to make this year already so far is the other things that Ducks Unlimited does and that hunting and conservation do other than just kill animals. One of my favorite events that we've actually done this year was just last week. We did an event with the Sustainability Farm, and you were there. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so the Sustainability Farm is a house off of campus that students can decide or choose to live in. They live there essentially with other students. I think there were 10 or 12 of them living there, and they're under kind of the guidance, but also a peer relationship with a graduate student who kind of oversees it. Obviously, they're all college students, so they're pretty self-reliant as it is, but just to kind of maybe give direction and maybe assign chores or tasks around the house. But it's also on a plot of land, and they are focused on basically growing their own food, compost focused, not wasting anything, very environmentally focused. Their basis is pretty much conservation. Yeah. And by virtue of this, a lot of them, I don't know if it was majority, but a lot of them were vegan or vegetarian, mostly for environmental reasons, some of them for other reasons. But we were able to through Nate's planning with the sustainability farm, go over there on a Tuesday night and cook dinner, which we had some goose breast left over from the early season goose. And another classmate of ours and I and Nate prepared and just kind of pan-seared some goose with salt and pepper. And when we were cooking, they gave us the floor to kind of discuss what we do and how we're actually more similar to vegans and vegetarians and people who are passionate about conservation than we are different, which is kind of a misconception. And it was really cool because we were able to kind of share our meal and share the goose with some people that were vegans and vegetarians, just due to the fact that it's a very non-hypocritical way to consume meat. It completely bypasses the corporate farming. It completely bypasses the driving across the country, the methane, all the stuff that the vegan vegetarian community kind of avoids meat for. We're kind of all for the same thing. So that was one of the cooler experiences I've had at SLU, and it was made available by this club. It was very cool. Yeah, very rewarding.
I would have loved to be like a fly on the wall.
Yeah, it was really
just
cool
to witness that. That'd be really cool.
They were incredibly respectful.
Yeah.
And it was really cool opportunity for them to give us the floor to kind of like talk without fear of judgment and kind of just like.
It's cool because you got to exchange ideas of what their views were.
True.
What your views, so you could relate more.
Totally.
And it's like black and white. It's two polar opposites communities on paper, but like as you said, it's a lot similar.
Yeah,
very similar.
From a perspective of food and relationship with food, and the way that the relationship with meat works after a harvest of an animal is very similar to the way that a relationship might work with someone who's living off the land in a more vegetarian way. So yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Sweet. Any plans to do another event or anything like that?
I hope so.
That'd be really cool.
It's up. He kind of does all the diplomacy. I
Okay.
just cook at events.
We've got a couple things we're gonna do in the spring already. We're talking about doing like a wood duck box making with this environmental activist group on campus.
Okay.
What else? We got a banquet coming up in the spring. We're gonna do another shooting safety course. I don't know. We've got some other things in the works too, but I think definitely we're gonna continue to try and focus on like the conservation, sustainability aspect of it rather than just hunting.
We've also been doing a lot of events since Nate took over. And it's a really good way to just cook off some of the meat that we have, just so that it's going to waste, and to let people try food that they haven't had before, while also letting people try. Like, say you have no interest in hunting and you try some goose and you realize the only way that you can get goose, like,
It's going to the DU chapter.
right, is going to us, or trying it for yourself, and then maybe you say, hey, I'd like to try that. So you're really coming into the sport of hunting for the right reasons, which is to get food that you really enjoy. So those events have been awesome. We used up all the meat that we have. At the end of the month, if there's anything left over, it's in one of our freezers. We make a different recipe every week, and
That's cool.
kids get really excited about that. It's every three or 4 weeks we'll do one outside, and people, it's been a hit. We have like 40 or 50 people show up.
Does it happen? Have you seen it where like a student will come for the first time, try, and they're like, "This is the best thing ever," and then they'll have their friend for the first time then come?
Yeah,
Have you seen
totally.
it? Really?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, and it's really cool because you get people from like totally different backgrounds
yeah.
and like, all different kinds of people. And it's really cool because they come and they're a little sketched out, but I'm like, no, try it.
Yeah.
It's good. We have good cooks, so we're lucky, and people love it.
It's very much a branching out. It's like because it's open, so we'll put it on Instagram, and then we'll share it on stories, and then that kind of spider webs, and then once that happens, then people tell their friends, and then it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool way to. Food is just a cool way to kind of communicate with people.
Bring people together.
Yeah.
It's something that we all can kind of get around. Yep.
And you guys now have a new recipe thanks to the boys down in
Bayou.
the Bayou boys
Who dat?
to take back to campus. That stuff is awesome. We did some
University. When I was down in at the University of Louisiana Lafayette during teal season this year, they made some fried teal breasts, and I was like, well, we might as well try it this weekend and give it a go on some longtails. And so I tried to follow that YouTube video, tried to kind of mimic what Chef Freelou was doing down there, and Yeah, it turned out pretty
I
good.
loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing I've ever had.
I don't know. It wasn't as much for me. I'm gonna try it tonight.
That's not what you said last night.
I know. I didn't have the heart to tell you.
I love it.
Well, I think it also has to do with the duck and what the duck's diet is. But
Yeah,
There's some in the brine right now. I'm
like
gonna
we
fry
went
it.
from teal, which is like one of the best probably ducks you can have, and then
To a sea duck.
to a sea duck diver.
Yeah.
And so two polar opposites. And yeah. So you guys definitely have a ton of ideas for events, but what are some other things that you guys are kind of planning for the future, Nate?
I mean, so one of the biggest things we already have to start thinking about is like succession and like continuing membership, because majority of our hunters and majority of the people in our club are upperclassmen, and they're going to graduate this year and next. And so like right now, even we're starting now and we're going to continue to like focus on underclassmen and getting younger people involved, because just like Axel handed off to me, I want to have that same like peace of mind when I go to graduate that the club's going to be in good hands. And I think like obviously a lot of events is a good way to reach out and meet people and get people introduced to the sport and into conservation. And also like trying to apply to a really diverse group of people gives me the best option to see who we can take over the club. One of the things that we did this year was we have like, my exec board is like 7 or 8 members, and I got a bunch of guys and girls doing different like things. Rather than like having one person trying to do everything, I've got like I've got a social chair, and I've got someone that's like trying to find stuff for us to go and do socially, so that like we're not just like a club that only like is very serious, but we also like to kick back and have fun with other groups. And so but I mean like trying to have the club do a lot of different things, I think.
Who's our social chef?
Dylan Schmalls.
Okay, hit up Dylan Schmalls if you.
And like just doing a lot of diverse events, I think is a really good way that we're going to continue to get recruitment and keep younger people engaged. And I mean, obviously at the end of the day too, it's important to me, like we don't have a huge hunting culture at St. Lawrence. And I like definitely we've been trying to grow. I think we've grown it a little bit, and I would love to like have that be kind of part of the culture. There's like a respectful and engaged group of hunters. And so like I'm definitely gonna try and get new people out on hunts. And like I've got this this email. People stop me everywhere I go, and they're like, "Hey, like I know you're the duck hunter dude. I'm really interested in duck hunting. Like what can I do?" And I've got this this long email with every step that they need to do. Everything walks them through, and I'm like, "Here, give me your email right now. I'm gonna forward you this email. You can start working on it tonight. Get your hunter safety done and all this stuff." And just like trying to be super available for people so I can get people engaged in hunting, get people engaged in Ducks Unlimited, and doing my part to work hard and trying to keep the legacy going that he kind of left me. And I hope that someday I can give that off to somebody else too.
Very cool. Have you guys had the opportunity to take people out hunting? Have they asked you if like what it's like hunting? Have you kind of invite them out on a hunt or anything like that? And then did you meet them at like where'd you meet them and things like that?
Well, I think like when the club kind of first started out, it was, it was already hard enough to get people.
Yeah, just to come to meetings.
Meetings and stuff like that. As any club, whether you're whittling or like poetry club, it's hard to get people to like know that you're there and what you guys do. So, it was hard the first, couple semesters, and then towards senior year, it was awesome because COVID was, super tough on a lot of people and a lot of communities. And, within our college community, we had, a ton of restrictions on what we could do. And one of the things, luckily, that we could do is, outdoor recreate. We can go hiking, we can go skiing, we could, be outside, and we can hunt and fish. And that was cool because that's when we started thinking like we can distance and we can also get people involved. And, unfortunately, I only had a few weeks to kind of figure that out before it was done. So Nate really capitalized on that this year. I've been seeing on social media, which is awesome, by the way, to see like you're taking. I mean, how many new hunters have you taken?
I think we're at double digits at this point, and that's just like I just like do a congratulations post when they kind of shoot their first waterfowl. But there's other guys and girls who have been out this year that haven't even managed to harvest their first animal. I mean, I think we're at 10, 15 people.
Josh Madsen, Graham Branch, Placey.
Yep. Eddie Fatusha.
Yep.
Cy Murphy had never duck hunted.
Tons.
There's a ton of
Johnny
kids.
Berger. Yeah, it's cool.
And then when you were done with those hunts, did they want to go again?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I at this point, I'm like, I feel like a guy to hunt like 5 to 7 days a week, and every day somebody's texting me, can we go this and like that? And it gets so bad that people will be like, oh, like when you've got room, text me. And I'm like, no, you got to be on me. because you got to be texting me because I'm going to forget because there's so many people that want a new hunt all the time.
Yeah.
Which I mean is the best problem in the world to have.
Yeah. Do you have, and it's probably, I'm sure sometimes it's hard. It's really hard to say no, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure it does happen, unfortunately. Do you have other members do you have the experience to take other new hunters out in the club?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think absolutely. And like there's not that many hunters of us, so we tend to kind of hunt together anyway. Okay. And so like generally if I'm taking a new person out, it's not just me and the new person one-on-one.
Yeah,
it's like there's other members engaged.
A little bit hard.
But yeah, no, there's definitely other people. And like another thing is a lot of times, as much as I kind of wish it wasn't this way, a lot of times people get into the hunting because someone kind of their close friend is. Yeah. And so you see that a lot, like people get newly involved and they want to go out with their close friend at first before they're like comfortable just coming to someone they don't really know to take them hunting. You're going to around firearms, I get where it's kind of uncomfortable.
So that's what your events like. Your shooting events, people come to that and they kind of get used. Like I remember, I've had this idea, and luckily we have a great supportive community, like not only in the school but also in the community itself. And one of the people we need to thank here is definitely Canton Sportsman's Club.
Yep.
They are
100%.
They are.
It'd be impossible.
It'd be impossible to do what we do without them, and they are basically a family run, very small co-op, I guess you could call it, based, area where, it's a locked gate. They have a locked building, super secure, but they also have an area to shoot trap, an area to shoot in your rifle, your sight in your rifle, whatever you got to do. And it's right down the road from school. We keep all of our, firearms there, so they're off campus in a safe area. And I remember when I was there, I took, 2 friends out there to shoot for the first time, and these women had never, held a gun before, shot a gun before, and we shot trap for like an hour and a half, and they're like, this is awesome. Like, I'd love to come down here and do this more often. Like, a lot of, coaches that, either coach trap shooting or, competitive or recreational or whatever it might be, like realize that a lot of new shooters are actually really good because they don't have enough, they have no experience, so they don't think about it too much.
They just point and shoot.
They point and shoot. Yeah. And so a lot of people that I take, once they get familiar with the gun and, kind of how it works and the mechanics of it, and they get comfortable shooting, they just start lighting them up, and like you can see, like it's like really fun, which is cool to have that access right down the street from us. So I know Nate, capitalized on that, making those events happen where you could, have people come down and just shoot for the first time. So, it's great to have that before you just toss them out in a marsh somewhere. And it's like, all right, like, here we go. But from a safety standpoint, it's awesome too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Canton Sportsman's Club is really important. I mean, we generally have that support in the community. Like we sold a bunch of SLU Ducks Unlimited hats last week, and a bunch of community members bought them. Not SLU alum, but yeah.
Yeah, just like
exactly.
Like
but like actual community members reached out and wanted to buy hats. And I mean, I know when you had your banquet 2 years ago, there were community members there, and I've already like run into community members and been telling them like, hey, we got a banquet coming up in the spring, and it's really awesome. Canton loves what we do, and we're really thankful for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, the community is just huge for us, and we could not do what we did for fundraising for DU without them. And stereotypically, just college students, we're paying for college, we're starting to go to a DU event and donate some money and for a good cause. So our community members are huge, and the ones that show up to the event each year are like the ones to thank, and they're the ones that we keep in our minds and our hearts, knowing that they're helping us out, in the end goal too, with the whole aspect of DU.
Yeah. Pretty incredible what you guys are doing there at St. Lawrence University for sure. It's when I started, or when the tournament kind of happened and kind of just came out of nowhere, and then now it's always on my radar. It's like I think I've had like Axel, you and I have had countless kind of conversations on Instagram and things, and you'd send pictures in, but just the more I learned about what you guys were doing here, it kind of just makes me want to even just go out and do more and then share the message of kind of like what you guys are doing to other colleges, because it's pretty incredible what you guys have done, and having conversations with all the communities at your college. So it's really cool. So,
I mean, I definitely think that kind of SLU is a unique campus, and so I think that presents unique challenges to it, which I mean I love. It's really cool. We get to do, like SLU Ducks Unlimited does a lot of different things that other chapters don't do, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
You get to be unique.
And I think, like, when I watch you guys' Instagram feed and everything, I see that, and it's just awesome to see all the people involved and just seeing you guys have a good time up here.
Forces a creativity of sorts in the marketing of the club.
Yeah.
Just definitely, like, I remember when Axel started doing some stories where he would break down a recipe, and it would be like a 25 story or 20 story thing of it's like, cut this, garlic, dress the bird, yada, 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 yada. And it shows everything. I think that people really appeal to that because of just, I don't know, probably it's kind of something that's just innate in the human mind that would appeal to, but that sort of thing. And then, like, just with Axel, who taken photography classes, he did photography with dressing a deer and the parts of breaking down a deer. Axel and I and another classmate of ours, alumni Dylan Gaffney, made a short documentary for a class that was focused on the subsistence nature of hunting in northern New York. He did another Ducks Unlimited thing for an independent study last year. I've written countless articles in our local school newspaper on the benefits of hunting. So everything is driven with a message because we're kind of coming from behind. So it's forced us into this really creative, marketing is the word.
It's like a showcase.
Creative way to kind of share our message. Without freaking people out, and kind of show the nuance of it. So that the foods, the conservation, the hunting, the dressing, the everything. Because there's so much more to it than just pulling a trigger and killing an animal.
Well, and we do have to be honest, like, as much as good that hunting does, and how we view it and how we showcase it here, it would be silly for us not to not address, like, there are some problems, like, in the country.
Absolutely.
With what's going on, and I would love to see more changes with the hunting industry, with how they market things. And the problem is like, a lot of these companies that are advertising to a clientele base that is dying out, and they're aging out, and us younger kids and the students here and students everywhere are bringing we're going to be the next generation of leaders of the country, and who knows what could happen with our generation. So we are also going to try to change as much as we can, at least starting here on a smaller basis of those issues.
No, like I said before, it's pretty awesome what you guys are doing and what you've done so far at St. Lawrence, and can't wait to kind of continue watching that club grow even after Nate's gone. And I don't know how long I'll be doing campus waterfowl, but
hopefully a really long time.
Hopefully, but as I kind of grow older, and I can hopefully
It's gonna become
share
waterfowl.
the stories of sitting down hunting with you guys with the new members of that DU chapter. So it'll be a lot of pretty cool, and hopefully this isn't. And I know this won't be the last time we all meet either. So.
No.
Well, it's been a blast having you up here, and I'm glad you're able to showcase some good footage. Hopefully, it's awesome. It turns out well, and we're looking forward to it. But you're welcome back anytime.
Appreciate
Next
it.
year.
Yeah, next
Thank
year.
you.
I'm glad that we were able to put you on some ducks too.
Yeah.
No, it was
you
a lot
were
of
able
fun.
to get behind the guns.
Yeah, this was too good of an opportunity to pass up. Hunting
And we still got one
longtails.
tomorrow.
And we got
Still got
one
one
more day
tomorrow.
hunting tomorrow. So I'm still after that.
Tomorrow you're
after
hunting
that.
redheads too.
Yeah, we got redheads on.
That's awesome.
I still got to get that Drake
not
longtail.
getting
So I'm
Big bull sprig.
You'll never get it.
So, for the sake of these next few videos that you guys are going to be seeing from St. Lawrence University, just know that yes, I've been very narrow-minded of I really want this Drake longtail, and so some of the footage I might not have as much content.
That should
as
be
other
that
trips.
should be the episode.
Yeah.
The whole episode should be like your quest to get this
I
Drake.
want this Drake longtail so bad.
You failed miserably.
So
Yeah, you're
far,
not getting
one
that.
more
You
day.
missed
Yeah,
so
one more
many
day.
times.
Yeah, I know.
My camera footage is terrible, so we basically have a double loss. No one won.
Just watch the episode.
Yeah,
if you want to laugh, just watch the episode.
This is an awesome podcast. Thank you guys for sitting down with me, and thank you to all the companies that support Campus Waterfowl. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without your support, and be able to meet these guys and have conversations like this, and really honestly have you guys do what you do in your community. So it's really awesome that there are companies out there that are supporting what we're doing. So
Cheers,
it
man.
means a lot.
Absolutely.
God bless.
that's gonna do it here that's gonna do it here at St. Lawrence University. And honestly, the plan is to go to North Dakota in a couple weeks, but I don't have anyone lined up yet. So, and that's how these trips sometimes go. I never know until about the week before. So I've been so busy this last month, but I got a lot of contacts in North Dakota. So
Awesome, man.
we'll hopefully get on some field mallards
Got something
and
for you
geese.
for the road.
So what's that? Oh my gosh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Just kidding.
It's my bad.
Best YouTuber ever.
Yeah, 2010.
Worst shooter.
2015.
Worst shooter.
Worst shooter.
Worst
Least
shot.
likely to kill a drake.
Have fun,
Drake.
learn, and compete. Is this the participation trophy?
Yeah, it is.
Unless you didn't get your bull sprig.
It's okay though.
Thank
We'll get it
you.
next
Thank
time.
you.
So guys, should we send it off with a big hi mom to all our moms watching at home?
Yeah, let's do it.
There we go.
we
We'll
do it?
finish it.
Ready?
All right.
Well, that was weird. It was a weird cutaway.
All right.
That's how I say hi to my mom.
Yeah, all right.
When I see her, I say just.
That's the way we'll finish this out.
Okay.
So we'll all say hi. Say hi to
Like
our
you're
moms.
gonna cut it and it's gonna be hi mom, and it's gonna end.
No. This is still rolling.
All right,
Okay,
sweet.
So,
Ready?
all right.
All right, cool, man. Well, thanks for coming up, and we appreciate having you. and-
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Should we say hi, mom?
Yeah, let's get it
All right.
right.
All right.
Our mom's at home. 1, 2, 3. Hi, mom.
I know my mom watches all these.
Oh, that's awesome.
Start to finish, she watches
Good.
all of them.
Good.
So
Cool,
yeah.